Greetings, everybody. It's RPG Grandma from her makeshift studio in a commercial vehicle area. Oh, yeah. All right. Yes, I'm in the commercial district right now. Sieges for Warriors of Mars. Let's find out what they think about them, how they think they should be run. Sieges are strictly for play in campaigns using the 150 scale. So that's one figure equals 50 figures. Generally speaking, they are long and rather tedious affairs. And it is suggested that if they must be conducted, the major part be done with paper and pencil. That is, the plan of the city being invested be drawn in triplicate. The defender should indicate his dispositions on one copy, the attacker his earthworks and dispositions on another, and a referee keep track of both on the third copy. Attempts to escalade, breach a wall, or whatever can then be worked out by the referee and the opponents informed of the results. Only when a successful foothold has been gained atop a wall or in a breach should play go to the tabletop. As a final word here, it should be remembered that most cities fell to assault from air or through a fifth column, opening a gate for the troops waiting outside. All right, so we learned a couple things. Whoever wrote the paragraph really doesn't like to do sieges. They don't find them fun. However, they're saying this is something you should do in a campaign, if you're doing a campaign style setting where players are running different city-states or different political agendas, you know. So this is for more of your big overarching world setting or world building kind of situation. It's very practical. Think about it, building a scale. All the terrain features for a big city would be very, very difficult for a variety of reasons, including just space, not to mention time. So it's not that it can't be done, it's just it's not practical for gameplay. Another thing is what the invading player knows about the city and what the defending player who is in charge of the city knows about the city are going to be different things. The invader might have incorrect information. The referee is the only one who's going to have like all the information. So it's important to keep that in mind. So yes, paper, pencil, imagination, way easier to do sieges that way. And then when you have a point of focus, that's when they say throw your minis out on the table. Get your armies out when you have that focal point. But up until the walls are breached, the gates are open, you don't have a focal point. You don't have a way of focusing in on the combat to the level you would need for skirmishes and stuff like that. Now, they mentioned that cities fell from air assault or from fifth column. I would definitely agree with that in Edgar Rice Burroughs' writings. That is how it occurred. And I would like to point out that D&D, original D&D, there is some references in those rules about things like wizard towers and strongholds and dragons and whatnot. So I should probably take a look at those and like reference back to them at some point. But yeah, it is definitely something that people would be worried about, is defending their airspace, or should be worried about. If you have airships that are battleships and stuff cruising around a planet, seems like that would be a bigger threat than, say, a battleship off your coast in the ocean when you have a big landmass. I mean, it's still a problem, but it's less of a problem, you know, than the battleship that can come hover over your city. You know, that would be a big problem. So it is definitely something to think about. Just like in a game that has dragons that could burn down your castle should have some kind of aerial defense. Versus a game that doesn't really have dragons, but people think dragons exist, that's a different game. You see what I'm saying, guys? So in the majority of the time I played D&D, aerial combat is rarely even addressed by people. It just isn't. So we will be looking at aerial combat. We'll be looking at the ideas in here on how to do it. And it should be fun, you know. And we'll look at, down the road when we get to army building here, we'll look at ways to make the things they're talking about. And so that should be fun. I know it's not theater of the mind per se. Not to say that you couldn't do a whole scenario with theater of the mind, aerial combat. There's no reason why you couldn't. I'm just saying for these rules, we will look at them. But yeah, sieges, your city-state should be worried about someone cruising on over with landing troops and whatnot to invade your city. It should be a real fear of any populace on Barsoom. Everybody have a great day and take it easy.